Am I almost as fast as Jakob Ingebrigtsen? No, is the answer. But today, I'm gonna be training like him. The Norwegians are famous for their double threshold methods, and, well, I'm giving it a go as well. I did my first double threshold session last week, and this week, I'm gonna be doing more double threshold. I've got a session on the road loop this morning and a session on the track this afternoon. I'm gonna take you with me for the whole thing. We're gonna talk about science, whether this thing actually even works. We're gonna talk about how and why people do double threshold. And I'm gonna take you with me through my raw, honest experience of it all. And one of the hardest things I find with double threshold is, what do I eat in between these sessions to stop myself from, well, you know. Time to fuel up for session number 1. Hot orange juice with collagen. Yeah, that's much better.
What else have you got for your pre-run brekkie?
Pre-run, pre-workout numero uno, I've got a big voluptuous bowl of porridge, jumbo oats, old-fashioned, with a drizzle of honey and some extra milk to cool it down because it's too hot for porridge. And a cup of gravy.
Gravy?
I'm just kidding, it's tea. And you'll be pleased to know I bought more than enough of a supply of Yorkshire tea. I have exactly 1 bag per day of caffeinated Yorkshire tea, and I think a few spare, right? Maybe like 30?
Yep.
For the odd late morning caffeinated beverage. And then I have 240 decaf teas. I must check. 160 decaf Yorkshire teas, because if you want one at 5 p.m. over here, that's 3.5 hours before bedtime. No bueno. No caffeine, no problem. Sunscreen. Wear it, or else.
Are we gonna talk about the elephant in the room?
What do you mean?
Something's changed.
Oh yeah, I got my nails done.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Well, you dyed your hair. Maybe you should tell them about that.
Yeah, I'm blonde now. Blonde. We're both blonde. This is not a filter.
Hey, I'm Connor. I'm a runner on Verde Track Club. Sounds like today the team has some double T. I do not. I'm just coming back from injury. So I probably have like 10 minutes of 60 seconds on, 60 seconds off, but they got some double T, which I always generally like.
How long have you been doing it?
I've been doing it since the winter, and I've probably done it 5 or 6 times, and at least 5 out of those 6 times it's gone really well, and I really like it.
What happened in the time that it didn't go well?
I think I just went a little harder in the morning than I should have. That's the trick though, right? It's like, it's nice because it forces you in the morning for your first T session to keep things controlled and keep things actually at T, whereas otherwise, you might go a little overboard, and especially in the morning, like your heart rate can just kind of be a little bit higher, and you can have a little bit more lactic in the legs depending on what time you work out. So I always really enjoy the afternoon session because you just feel really smooth, you feel like you're moving really well, and it's always a little easier, and it's a little fun to rip sometimes in the afternoon if John lets you rip. So I'm excited for them. I got to get through my own workout first though. Wish me luck. Go Bills.
For you today, let's do 6 to 7 miles worth of work. Okay, anywhere from 1K to 2 miles in length for the rep.
Okay.
Okay.
Get a little mixy with it.
Yeah.
This afternoon will be the same as last week. So,
Okay.
but yeah, if you want to do 2 miles just to make life easier.
We're not going to change it too much, but like my guess is you might be a little bit quicker, just feeling a little bit better.
Yeah.
There she goes, and I thought I'd talk you through the session as you see me doing it. You heard Coach John say that we have 6 to 7 miles worth of work on the menu this morning, and that I could do that in reps that are anywhere from 1k to 2 miles. And this is where John gives me a bit of free rein to structure the session as I see fit. Last week I stuck to mile reps, and this week I decided to go for 2 miles, 1 mile, 2 miles, and then 2 by 1 mile to get me to 7 miles. All of the recoveries were 75 seconds between everything. At sea level, I tend to take 60 seconds, and this will probably be the case up here too in a couple of weeks when I'm more acclimated to the altitude. Last week the paces were 5:40 to 5:45 minutes per mile, or 3:31 to 3:34 per kilometre, and we kept the paces roughly the same this week as it felt the right effort for threshold. I was a little bit on the faster end of that range this morning, but we were going off feel, a bit of heart rate, but also knowing that my sea level threshold pace is roughly 10 to 15 seconds slower than I was running up here, which is about right for an altitude conversion of 7,000 feet. And other than the armpit chafe that started around halfway, this felt great. I was in my groove, ticking along with a nice rhythm this morning. The chafe is real. Can you see it?
Yeah, kinda.
Owie. Got armpit chafe. Aerobically, felt really strong, so. Yeet.
Yeah.
No. Part 1. Done.
All right. Now, what's on the menu for between sessions?
Well, post this morning's session, I finished my bottle of carbs. So I took in 80 grams of carbs kind of in the session / a little bit afterwards, which is good. And I also had my chocolate milk banana smoothie shake. And now we have the highly delicious, extremely nutritious, and kind on the stomach, eggy rice with ketchup. And to be honest, I'm still experimenting with what to eat in between the 2 threshold workouts. This is only my 3rd double threshold day. I had one last week on Tuesday, and it felt less bad than the first time I had one, which was back in April when I was in Font. And the second session I did then was really, really short, but I figured out that I kind of maybe messed up a little bit of the timing of my fueling, eating too close to the second workout. And I don't know why, because if I just had an afternoon or an evening workout, like I would eat 2 hours or 90 minutes before, which is what I did. But maybe there's something to do with the fact that if you've already had a morning workout, I don't know, your stomach is behaving differently. I know everyone's different, and it's about trial and error. Last week I still felt a little bit bloated, but I was also in the week before my period and my cycle, so that can often make you feel bloated. So it's also like, which was it? So this week I'm gonna try and eat earlier. I'm having my main kind of meal now at 10 to 12, whereas last week I had it at about like 2,
Yeah, something.
I would say. And the second session is like warming up at 5. So I'm obviously gonna eat between now and 5 because that's 5 hours, but I'm just gonna have like smaller snacks, sip on some carb drinks, and have like really simple, easy to digest foods, cutting down on fiber, not having a huge amount of protein like after this meal, just to kind of like rule out any kind of stomach upsets. And it wasn't like I was rushing to the toilet or anything, it was just like kind of gassy, bloating feeling, which didn't slow me down, but just didn't feel great. So that's just one of the things that you have to figure out. Everyone's different. Jessa can literally be eating a bagel as she's walking to the track because she has a stomach of steel. I'm so jealous, but that's not me. So I'll get this down, have a shower, and basically do nothing for the rest of the day until we go again.
All right, what are you doing?
Making some food!
More food?
Yeah.
Nice.
Because I'm hungry and it is time for my pre-session meal, and it is 2:27. I'm gonna have some porridge. Again. Let's see if my stomach enjoys this a little bit better than it enjoyed. What did I have last week?
Pancakes.
Pancakes post-session, whereas this week I've had rice, and
You had it.
I also had a bagel, didn't I?
And granola.
I had a little bit of granola, yeah, and I knew that I shouldn't really have granola, but it was so good. But granola just granola before the run just isn't the one. Porridge it is. I'm gonna see whether the focus on carbohydrates that are not processed as much are better. I'm gonna eat my porridge, and then after I've eaten porridge, I'm gonna talk about the science of double tea. You want to learn about this double threshold malarkey? Well, you've come to the right place. My name is Hansen Johansson Larsen Christiansen, and I am an expert in this field, otherwise known as the Norwegian method. What is double threshold, and how do people do it? Essentially, it's a day or days of the week whereby an athlete has one threshold workout in the morning and another in the evening. Both sessions are characterized by reps of typically 800 meters all the way up to 2 miles run at or slightly above the athlete's threshold pace. Okay, but hold up. What's threshold pace? This is your individual lactate threshold. The pace you can run whereby your body is able to clear the lactate it is producing in the blood by using it as a fuel source. And lactate, by the way, is a byproduct of the breakdown of glucose when used for energy when you exercise. Hence, when you run faster and sustain these paces for longer, you're using more energy, hence more lactate. Typically, if you're running at your lactate threshold, the lactate measurement in the blood should be around 2 millimoles per litre. Are you still with me? Increasing the pace you are running above your lactate threshold will see your blood lactate volume increase. And when this reaches 4 millimoles per litre, this is known as your lactate turn point, the point at which the body can't clear lactate faster than is being produced. There are studies and algorithms out there that allow you to estimate your lactate threshold by running at a percentage of your maximum heart rate or by working backwards from a race time. And many watches will give you predictions of your lactate threshold, but the only thing that can give you a concrete number is blood samples in a laboratory, which gives you your exact lactate threshold for that given day. It is a snapshot of data. Yes? I see, okay, I understand. But why the double threshold? I am glad you asked, Philippa. By running threshold sessions, or in this case, double threshold sessions, at between your lactate threshold and your lactate turn point, ideally at blood lactate volumes of 2.3 to 3 millimoles per litre, your body is able to hit vast amounts of threshold training, separated by a nice recovery window to negate the risk of breakdown and poor recovery more than you're able to do in one morning or one evening. Training in this way improves your lactate threshold and your lactate turn point, thereby increasing aerobic capacity and endurance, improving your performance over time, a shift to the right, if you will. You keep all of that effort on one day, so that you still have those distinct, easy days for recovery between these harder, higher volume days. And it's very much about staying controlled in that specific range, rather than bombing it and running even faster, even though you can and could, but you shouldn't. You're balancing intentionally between that comfy lactate threshold and that not so comfy beyond the lactate turn point. Oh, and I should mention as well, in my second session today, we get a little bit sciencey by doing some field testing and taking blood lactate readings using a lactate plus meter. We do this after each rep to measure the lactate readings in my blood to check our homework and make sure that I'm running in the right zones. So take this as a small amount of blood warning for later on in the video. And if you want to nerd out even more, you can read Marius Bakken's blog on double threshold training from the man who developed the Norwegian model. This thing is the Bible of threshold training, and it's linked in the description below. You've got this. No, I said it first. You've got this. Hi. Sorry, I didn't see you there. I'm just getting ready for my second session. Feeling very confident, actually. How would Jakob Ingebrigtsen make his smoothie? Very fast. I don't have time for the post-session smoothie, but I need the post-session smoothie. Strawberries.
It's not fast enough. Come on, speed.
Yeah, green bits are going in.
We have 1 minute.
Yeah. Yeah. Orange juice, turmeric in it, mince, I feel. Time for spillages. Sorry, everyone. Come on, that's pretty fast. I think it might rain.
Philippa, how are we doing?
Great.
Are we ready for double tea session part dose?
As ready as it gets.
Let's really with Daniel here.
You're gonna turn it right down.
Color grade this, Daniel.
Oh, scary! Oh, shiver my timbers!
Also, this is definitely not how you're supposed to film. Look at that fucking hair.
It's not the worst one.
Yes, I should go with that. It's good.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Oh, good.
Perfect. Okay, let's do it.
Hey. Next to rock like Mick Foley. It's Nick Joby, kill him softly, play that shit slowly. On the keys like Tony, throwing subs, they get toasted. About my bread like a hoagie. This beat ice cold, look how I ride this Zamboni. I feel like old Tiny, good anywhere you throw me. She eat a Chobani, cause her body getting bony. Late night, heavy scrolling, vape light, heavy smoking. We got unhealthy habits, we been already growing. It's like we drowning in them, it seems the levee's broken. But it's not too late to change them. And refrain from being slaves to the vices that encage them. I'm writing on this page like I'm throwing hands with Satan. Don't run from all those demons, gotta stand your ground and face them. Sometimes you break, but through destruction comes a renovation. We all just trying to build a foundation. We all just trying to build a foundation. We all just trying to build a foundation. Yeah. Liquidity dry, I couldn't quit if I tried. It's been a ride through all the waves and the tides. Little emptiness inside from all them days with the guys. Try to mask it, but I know you see the pain in his eyes. All the lows and the highs, all the gray in the sky. Every reason I should throw away and swallow my pride. All my life been like a permanent grind, of just deserving my shine. And you can't even tell until I push the curtains aside. Hey, and it's disturbing behind. But yo, y'all love to say it's worse in your mind. Still I'm searching to find something that's bigger than a verse or a rhyme. Find your wings and then the courage to fly. Cause we all just trying to build a foundation. We all just trying to build a foundation.
Yeah, I'm kind of amazed how fine I feel. A lot better than last week. The only part of me that doesn't feel fine is my feet, because I've probably run like 21, 22 miles today? I don't know, math is hard. I'll work it out.
How'd you do, Coach?
A good day, as they say.
A good day to have a good day.
Hey, we didn't have any rain today. That was nice. Last week we were like looking through over there, and we could just see this big rain cloud literally like shifting back and forth. And so, yeah.
No rain today.
No rain today. Dry. Nice and dry.
"22 miles.
I know. Crazy, right?
That's like a big day. That's like...
I don't know the last time I did 22 miles. Like, that's the biggest day since the last marathon. And I feel like it's probably earlier into the block that I've done 22. I don't know, I'd have to go back and check. And I guess because this time around I'm doing a 12-week block instead of a 14-week block. And I'm like, what, 10 weeks out now? I don't know. I'd have to check, but crazy.
And how do you feel?
I feel pretty good. Like, I definitely could have kept going. If he'd asked me to do another one or another two, I'd have not, like, thought twice about it. My legs are tired, but they don't feel like they've done 22 miles. I feel like I've done maybe like a 15-mile session in total.
Which I guess is the
point.
the
Yeah,
point
that's
of
the
double
point.
T, right?
Yeah, no, I feel pretty good. I mean, I'm probably gonna run very easy tomorrow. That's what Wednesdays are for, you know, recovery days. I felt so much better today than I did last week. So that's really encouraging. I think the stomach was part of it, and so the way that I ate today. But also just like having been at altitude now for 2.5 weeks, like being a little bit more used to the effort up here and just used to like throttling that threshold pace. I was a lot more consistent today. I know it took me a little while to get into it. Like the first couple of mile reps were maybe like above and below 85s, but then the third one was bang on. That was like clockwork.
Yeah.
And then the 1200s were pretty bang on as well. So I think I just found that rhythm, and you lose a lot less energy than when you're going above and under the pace and trying to find it, when you can just lock in. So can't really see it, but
Oh yeah, how did the
it does hurt.
the
It does really hurt.
the lactate testing go?
Oh, my finger hurts. We're good. Yeah, we've got good readings. There was one anomaly. I think it said 1.2 or something.
And what does it need to be in?
It's supposed to be like between 2 to 3.5 millimole, to my knowledge. We're going to double check that with my physiologist, because 4 is the reading where above that you're not clearing lactate. So I think 2 to 3.5 millimole is where you try and aim to be. Sometimes on the higher end of that, perhaps for the evening session, and on the lower end of the morning session, but I was pretty much 2.1, 2.3 the whole way through, which is really good. And I felt controlled as well. I didn't feel like my legs were, tying up in any way. So a successful double threshold day.
Nice. Should we go eat some fibre?
Yeah, and some protein and some carbohydrates and some fats, please.
Vegetables. Maybe.
Yeah.
How's dinner?
Dinner's good. 5 of these, I'm just finishing my last one. Ice cream sandwich. Kind of cold. Alright, this isn't actually my dinner. This is dessert. But we're both too hungry to film dinner. Imagine the most beautiful bowl of silky smooth mashed sweet potato that was actually a little bit more like chunky mash because Daniel.
No, because
Used a
there wasn't
fork.
any proper utensils.
How's
in this
that phrase
kitchen.
go? Poor workman blames his tools. Anyway, sweet potato, a little bit mashed, a little bit rustic, some grilled chicken, and some asparagus that was really chewy. It was good, it was what I needed. Some veggies, some protein, some carbs, and the final food group, ice cream. So I guess after 2 threshold workouts, 2 weeks in a row, I'm 2% Jakob Ingebrigtsen now. However, I need more tattoos. Clearly, I'm lacking. I need a bigger ego. I'm working on that. And yeah, I mean, felt good today. Can we tell if double threshold works from one day? No. But we can stay tuned to see how the rest of the training block goes. And look, I felt good today, and that's a good sign. But to really find out, we're gonna have to wait and see how Berlin goes. Because, you know, if I run a big PB, we can scientifically say, thanks to this controlled experiment over 12 weeks, it's because of double threshold, and not because of 10 weeks at altitude and running more volume and starting working with a new coach and being a more experienced athlete, having 3 marathons under my belt now, you know? All of those variables are under control. I hope you enjoyed this a little bit of fun video experimenting with double threshold. No, I'm not Ingebrigtsen, but yes, I am signing up to Norwegian on Duolingo because apparently it's the easiest language to learn. And on that note, English to Norwegian.
Elsker grinden.
I'm sorry?
Elsker grinden.
Elsker grinden. That's what it says. It says Elsker grinden.
Elsker grinden. Elsker grinden.
Elsker grinden. Well, for crying, guys. Zooby, zooby, zoo. Zooby, zooby, zoo.